and I was like, God, if I die in this plane crash, this is the worst way to die. Get it? Let's get it.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Dude You Never Told Me. We're back. The three of us are back
Yeah,
together.
we are reunited
Let's
once
do it.
again.
Yeah, and it feels so good. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this is our 20th episode of Dude You Never Told Me. So that's kind of wild.
It is
Yep.
20 episodes.
20
We don't count some of the
episodes.
gaming episodes.
Yeah,
I think that is including the gaming episodes. We just don't release those because how do you listen to them in a podcast form?
yeah. I think we're missing like 2 of them.
Yeah. But for anyone joining who haven't heard us before, we are Dude You Never Told Me. We are a weekly podcast of 3 childhood friends coming together to just share thoughts, stories, and kind of catch each other up on what's happening the past week of our very, very busy life. And boy, do I have to
Busy.
catch y'all up on what I have been up to.
Yeah, for sure. How you been, dog?
Yeah, been
Feel
good.
like-
Dude, how was your week last week?
Yeah,
It
we missed you.
was wild. I went to Taiwan last week. I just came back on Sunday, and so
Taiwan. I
I
always wanted to go.
Taiwan's great. I truly think you should definitely go to Taiwan. I know people will say you should worry about Taiwan with China being aggressive as they are, like
I'm
and
sure
that
it's
kind of
beautiful,
stuff.
though.
It's really
Plus
nice though.
They had that really big earthquake recently, right?
They did, and for the most part, you don't see too much of. I guess I didn't go to the areas that experienced the earthquake, but you
Right.
don't see too much of it. And I was talking to my father-in-law who was in Taiwan, hence why we visited. That like whenever an earthquake happens, even a small scale one, people are just like, if it's a small like a 3 point something, they just carry on with their day. They just like, it's
They're just
the
used to it.
earth shaking.
Oh.
We might as well keep working. And so even the highways, if earthquake happens, everyone just like calmly stops their car on the highway, just waits it out, and it continues along its way.
They're just like driving, and they're like,
What?
All right.
I'm just
They
out.
literally take the phrase "keep calm and carry on" to a new level.
for real.
But I think that's gonna be the focus of at least the first part of our episode. Is that I kind of want to walk you through my week in Taiwan.
For sure. Let us know.
Let us
How was it?
begin.
How was it?
Anthony's
I know you're really
Taiwan adventure.
like you're really interested in street food, so I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, it's actually a funny twist. I just did eat too much street food, and I'll
what?
explain why.
So you're like the most excited.
I was
about.
excited for it, but when I actually
too
got
excited,
there,
maybe.
it was like when I actually got there, I was like, I mean, we went to really good restaurants, so I was kind of full for like I couldn't
Okay.
really do street food.
You ate
But-
better food.
Ate better food, yeah. But I did go to some night markets. They're very interesting. As once you've been to one night market, you kind of been to them all. They're all the exact same. The same food, the same energy, the same things being sold, and even the same tea
Okay.
shops too, which is like that's like surprising. But yeah, it's the same energy.
Dang, I should have asked you to get me some tea, dog. I know that they got some good tea over there.
I did I ended up buying like a few packs of oolong tea, which apparently is
Ooh.
a very popular tea that's like grown in Taiwan.
I actually want to ask you, what would you think of the quality of the food there? Because I know everyone says in the U.S. the quality sucks, but I mean, I can attest in Colombia when I went, it was a lot better quality, and that's just Colombia. Like, what? How is Taiwan?
I don't know. I feel like you have to ask them more like which cuisine of food are you looking at? Are you looking at like because Taiwan cannot do a good Mexican food. I would not go to a Mexican restaurant in Taiwan. I would not do pizza in Taiwan.
Was
But
it
like
predominantly Taiwanese food that you're eating?
Taiwanese,
I mean,
Chinese
but-
food, yeah. And then
Okay.
we had
I mean,
we
that-
had Thai food that was really, really good. Oh.
That's fair to say, Anthony. But like, at the same time, I'm sure they have a lot of the basics. Like, they use onions. I'm sure they have beef, pork, chicken. Right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like, how is just like the basics? I guess. Like, how does that taste?
That's true. In comparison to America, which is
I'll say-
burgers, pizzas,
Yeah.
I
like-
will say, I mean, I don't think I noticed the difference too much. The fish was definitely fresher than like living in like Central Texas. The pineapple though, those were so like juicy and sweet. Like
they're not dull, right?
yeah, not just like a fresh pineapple. I see like pick one up, carve one, and serve it. I would say the fruit and the produce are extremely fresh. But the thing that you have to worry about like Taiwan street food and even these like fish markets and wet markets is that there's no like FDA regulation. And so who
That's
knows
true.
how long those fruits have been around? Who knows how long like that fish has been just sitting outside,
I
flies
see.
gathering around. And so that's kind of the reason why I kind of wanted to avoid the street food too much. Was like
Mm,
I was worried that I would get like traveler's diarrhea, right? And that would just like mess up my entire my entire
that would
trip if
do it.
I just felt sick. Because like I said, there is no
Yeah.
regulation. People are just like literally at a wet market or at a night market, they just have like squid that just deep fried, this having it sit out for who knows how long.
Ooh.
And I'm sure Alex, you can attest, and so can you, Devontae. When you go to like Colombia or Japan, even though you speak the language, they know you're like foreigner.
Oh,
Oh, definitely.
100%.
Yeah, so like they're if they can, they're gonna try to like you know con you have some money because you're new
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And what kind of helps me when I go to Colombia, like I'll be with my relatives, so they'll kind of look at me and be like, "Wait, are you?"
Yeah,
And then they'll hear me talking like, "Okay, I think yeah, like
Yeah, man,
yeah."
blended with
Is
relatives.
it? Yeah, the relatives definitely help a lot.
Hey,
yeah.
I cannot hide, you know.
No, you can't.
Stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, that's true. I did not see. I saw very, very, very few black people in Taiwan.
I bet. But I would love to
Yeah.
go though. I love Taiwanese
I think you
food,
would. I
man.
think you would definitely enjoy it. I think you would. It's. I would say Taiwan has a very similar like city energy as Japan. The city is
Okay.
very clean. People are like are pretty like accommodating, respectful. You know, when you think of a big city, sometimes you think of New York, and people are like all
Yeah.
busy doing their own stuff. But Taiwan has the
Yeah.
same busy energy, but people are generally pretty nice.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
So what were some of the things you did, my guy?
So I got in on Sunday, and then Monday is when we started our big adventure. So Monday, we went to there's a area in I guess it's more like western or part of Taiwan. I can't remember where it's called Jai Fun market, and it's like a street market, and it's not in Taipei, but
Mm.
it's like out there, and it's really cool. There's a lot of like local things, but there's an area near it called the Pingxing Station, and the whole thing is you can actually get lanterns and you can
Okay.
light them up and send them into the sky. And it's the only
Oh.
area in Taiwan where the government actually encourage you to do it. Like you will actually send it out. Gravity's it'll come
Yeah.
down, but
I was
like
about to say, where does it come down at?
it's
You
just
know, like,
wherever. It's the only launching in this area is the only place where it's legal to like launch it and it falls wherever it falls. And normally during they have like a lantern festival where they add lights to the lantern and send it along its way, and that's really really
that
beautiful.
probably looks beautiful. Yeah.
Kind of like you've ever seen the movie Tangled?
Yeah, it's exactly like Tangled. It's
Okay,
exactly like
that's
Tangled.
cool.
But for us, we went during the afternoon, so we didn't go during time of the night lanterns. And so for our lantern, the idea is that you write your wish onto it, and you send it up and put it out into the universe and put it out to
Dang, what was your
Taiwan.
wish?
So the way they do wishes is that they have colors. So each color represents a different faction of your
okay.
life. So there's one for like your job, one for your love life, one for your family, one for money, one for your health. And so my wife and I, we chose 4 colors. I think we chose a predetermined lantern that had 4 colors. It had money, it had family, I think it had love, and then it had job. And so for
Okay.
money,
One
I
thing.
wrote A2I because gotta rep,
yeah.
rep our company. But A2I, DJ never told me, and then we just launched it into the sky, and it went pretty far up. Like it's out there
Hey, that's
somewhere.
how far we're gonna go
There
up.
we
It's
go.
out there.
We already know.
If I was a better artist, I would have totally drawn all of our social medias, and so some Taiwanese person in the middle of the countryside, by the way,
You should have
who
just
probably
stamped the
does,
QR code.
yeah, will probably get it and be like, who the hell is this?
That's wild.
Yeah. So that was Monday. That was most of Monday, and then Tuesday we went to, in Japan there's like the Akihabara area with really like it's
Oh
like
yeah, Electrical City.
Electric City, very anime, very like like very young people area as they say.
Mhm.
Taiwan has a very similar place as well, and so that's where we
Oh,
went on
okay.
Tuesday. And so we went to they had a lot of stores that sold like figurines, anime characters. They had a lot of a lot of like I guess like pop up shops, and so we bought a lot of
Yeah.
souvenirs from there. I got like a they have this thing called Pop Mart, which is like apparently exclusive to
Pop
like
Mart.
Asia, and they have really cool like they're all like blind boxes, but they're really cool like IPs. They have like
Oh,
and so like I bought like I think we spent like $100 there and getting all these different blind boxes for
Get
various
anything good?
IPs. I did. I got some really cool stuff. I'm gonna pull it from
What you
here.
got? What you got?
So I got a League of Legends one, obviously, because I still play League
Oh,
of
yeah.
Legends.
yeah.
And they had 12 characters, and one of them was Ezreal. So I was like, what's the chances I actually pull the Ezreal one? But I
1 in
did.
12.
Got
It
pulled
was
Ezreal.
destiny.
As I always say, what's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds?
So this
Dude,
is
you need to
that was my
hit
favorite
up the
pull.
casino after that.
That was my favorite pull.
Nice.
But they have also non-IP related figurines as well. And so one of my favorite figurines is this like one in a mech suit. Here it is, like this one.
Oh, that's cool.
And so how much do you think these would cost in America?
Like
these,
the blind boxes?
yeah, these blind boxes. And the figurines they're like the size of your hand. Like they're
I
pretty
guess like
sizable.
10 to 15 bucks.
10
maybe
$15.
I'd
Yeah,
say
15.
$7.99 or something.
$7.99. So that's like these ones are like around $7.99 in price. So for $1 it's kind of worth like 31 Taiwanese dollars. And so these were sitting at like $260 new Taiwanese dollars. So they're really they're pretty cheap comparatively what they were. Let's see. So that's Tuesday. That's the highlights of Tuesday. Oh, and then I guess Tuesday we went to like a Buddhist temple, which is really cool. There's like one in the center of Taiwan that's really popular, big tourist destination. I'll probably have the photos attached to the website for this episode just to see some stuff. So let's move on to Wednesday. So Wednesday we took a road trip to Taichung, which is kind of like central Taiwan, and that area is like known for like the buildings are like bigger. And according to my father, everything's bigger in Taichung. The floors are bigger, the buildings are bigger. Everything Texas is big, just like Texas. And it felt that way too. Like the buildings, the streets, everything just felt bigger. Even though Asia is known for having
like when you say bigger, are you talking about like in consideration to other parts of Taiwan, or are you saying like in comparison to like it's like normal size in America,
comparison to like other areas in Taiwan where like the buildings seem to be smaller and more condensed.
Okay.
For Taipei, like you have huge skyscrapers, and you have that in Taichung as well, but you have a lot more like areas where it's like just like more like not flat, but to build more flatly. So like not as tall buildings, but they're really big.
Just like Texas.
Yeah, it has that energy. And apparently, like according to my father-in-law, that's where a lot of people go out to retire to, because it's not necessarily cheaper than Taipei, but like you just get more space for the money. They also have one of the most like famous like night markets. I can't remember what the name of it is. I think it's like the Feng something market, and that's where we did the most of our night market like, exploring. And so when I say once you've been to one, you've been to them all. Have you ever heard of like the lack of better term for it's called smelly tofu, but it's like a dish. Hey, do you know what I'm talking? You know, talk about Devante.
I think I know what you're
talking
about.
Do you know the smell?
Yes.
How would you describe this smell to Alex? I don't think Alex has ever heard of
Alex,
smelly tofu.
Yeah, smelly tofu. That sounds a little stink.
I don't think you would eat it.
You think I'd try it?
I think you would try it.
You try it, yeah.
You try everything.
You're very brave when it comes to eating, but like I guess like
don't
imagine the smell of like
I don't know, man. It's like borderline good, but at the same time, you just gotta get past the smell.
Yeah,
it's like a durian fruit.
I see.
Yeah, so imagine like it is like a savory smell that turns rotten. Like it starts savory, then it just turns rotten, and that smell is every single night market. Because it's such a strong smell. It's such a like I said, once you've been to one, you've been to them all. It's such a strong smell. And they sell other food there too. Like they sell like like dumplings on the side. They sell egg rolls on the side. You'll see like Taiwanese chicken stuff that are really really good.
Good stuff.
But the smell of like that tofu just like is so strong and so pungent. And
I have a question
you
for you.
Get used to it. Yeah. What's up?
So in the street market, I know in Colombia, a lot of people will like kind of have businesses built into their home, and they'll sell like their food and street food outside of that. Is that how it works in Taiwan as well?
Yeah, you'll see a lot of people where like I think their residents are like in the buildings above it, but they just sell like whatever, like a pop up store. But I see
Downstairs.
those more of in like mechanic shops. So Taiwan has a huge like moped situation, like in a lot of Asian cities, and I'm pretty sure a lot of like South American cities as well. You have a lot of mopeds just buzzing in and out, and so a lot of people would have like shops built into like the buildings, and then above them is probably where they live, and so they just go down and they would sell random mechanical parts. So I saw a lot of that, and that's kind of. But for the street markets, they come with a lot of stands. So like one side would be actual building spaces for like pop up stores and whatnot. The other side would be like stands of like selling some random off-brand, probably like fake luxury goods, like flake Balenciaga, flake, Gucci. Yeah, so that was Wednesday. Thursday was more of like a rest day since we got so Taichung is about like 3 hours away from Taipei, and so we drove 3 hours to Taichung. We drove 3 hours back to Taipei. Thursday was a rest day.
I gotta ask, if Thursday was a rest day, how long did it take for you to get used to the jet lag, or did you ever get used to the jet lag?
It took me 2 days, and
2 days. Okay.
According to Michelle, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, I slept for like 12 hours and I was still tired.
Oh yeah, you venturing out.
I always joke that whenever I go on vacation, because I'm not working on like work stuff or personal stuff, I'm like not as stressed, and so all the time it just hits me right on vacation.
Man mellowing out.
So like on vacations, I'm like tired 24/7. But also like I didn't drink a lot of coffee while I'm on vacation, because I usually when I'm on vacation I try to cut back on my caffeine intake.
Oh, really?
So, you sound like you got a bad case of needing a vacation from vacation.
Yeah. I'm just tired all the time. But the days where I did have like an espresso after a meal, I'm like, I have energy.
You're wired.
I'm like,
yeah, he was wired.
I have energy again to do stuff. Man,
how is the coffee over there?
It's good. I don't think I had like local coffee. Whenever I did like an espresso, I just got it from like it's like a restaurant just offered it.
Okay, so it felt about the same. Didn't seem
felt
too
about the same.
Like
There's still quite a bit of Starbucks.
Oh really?
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
I actually don't see Starbucks in Colombia, or at least the parts that I go to. Yeah,
surprising.
But Colombian coffee, they don't really need a Starbucks. I guess they could have one, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if Taiwan's known for their coffees. I know they're known for their teas, and there's like a numerous, like I see a lot of people having like a boba tea everywhere. Everyone has like when they're walking.
That's Isn't that the origin?
Huh?
Isn't that the origin?
Yeah, so boba tea comes from Taiwan. It's actually kind of a funny story. There's two stands or two chains of restaurants that claim to be the very first boba shop. Man. And so they try to sue each other to gain like the rights to say, hey, we're the first. Because boba's huge in like everywhere now.
Right.
So the judge saw the lawsuit, was like, I don't care. This is not important. And so he just threw it out. And so now these two restaurants are claiming to be the first, like the first boba restaurant. And we actually went to one of those on Tuesday. And they do boba very interesting. They do like a brown sugar boba, which is their signature drink. And so it's just like, milk tea, boba at the bottom, and then on top there's like brown sugar caramelized.
Right.
Into like a nice crispy thing. It was really good. It's really sweet though. Taiwanese people love their boba really sweet.
I see. So that was your Thursday.
That was Thursday. Then
so how was the wrap up of the trip then?
Friday we went to see what's it called? Michelle's like dad's workplace. That was really cool.
I think
look
at the comment section.
We went to Uniqlo. Oh god, I love Uniqlo, man.
I love Uniqlo too. They're coming to DFW area.
There's 3 coming to DFW.
Yeah,
that's
3.
wild. Yeah. I want one in Austin.
Wait, I'm not familiar with this company. What is it?
It's like it's a Japanese store, right?
Yep.
It's a Japanese clothing store. But they just have like
reasonably priced.
Think of like H&M and like Forever 21. But I find them a bit more
great quality.
Great quality. I feel like their tones are a bit more mature. You won't find some like
cringy,
weird bedazzle like jacket. There's more of like, casual street clothes,
but like still fashionable.
Yeah. Color wise, it's very like, traditional colors, like very neutral, very like light browns and grays and whites and blacks. You have blue shirts. They have some really cool t-shirts. I like to buy my t-shirts from Uniqlo. Yeah. So Friday was a shopping day. And then Saturday they took us to their church, like the Michelle's parents' church. It's really
Nice.
cool.
Okay.
I picked up a weird habit from my uncle where whenever we go to a region that isn't known for Christianity and Catholicism, we like to go to like see the churches.
Yeah.
Because like in US you see churches everywhere. Some churches have a lot of money, so they're really grand, really nice. Some churches don't have a lot of money, so they're more like old school, more traditional looking. And so I always wondered in a country that's not America, a country like Japan, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, what do churches like look like? And these churches are pretty nice. They're like like the communities are close, and so they have the funds to like have like a
Yeah.
nice big church and have like a sound equipment, and they record their services and put it
They
on
got
TV.
that old money.
Nice. Yeah, Taiwan has they have like beautiful land in terms of like, where I would say it's called like a Goshen, like is the word that they use. And it's like it's like a land where people could settle, and then they have a water source,
Mm.
and like if something were ever to go wrong in the world, like this is like the place to be pretty much. It's like in the Sahara, it's like a oasis in the Sahara desert pretty much.
Yeah, I will say Taipei to me has like a beautiful blend of like nature and city. And so like anywhere you go in Taipei, you'll see like a lush green like trees providing shade, just acting as green scenery. You have like local gardens where people just like plant stuff just to make it, wherever they park their motorcycles or bikes, people just have a garden, so it just looks nicer to park there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really, really nice.
Nice.
And then
Definitely would want to go.
yeah, I think Saturday plus went to the museum. We went to
Ooh, what kind of museum?
it's like the National Palace Museum, so it just shows like Chinese culture.
Okay.
But one of it's one of the areas they had was really cool. It's a whole hall of like jade artifacts.
Oh snap!
And one of it they call it it looks like a bok choy. You know what bok choy looks like, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that made out of jade.
My hand right here.
Yeah, it looks like
what does
jade.
bok choy look like for those who can't imagine it?
It's like a green
A
leafy plant that has like a
cabbage,
white bottom.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what bok choy looks like. Yeah. Okay. It's like
So they have that but made out of jade. And someone carved that.
Wow.
Isn't it like sugar cane kind of?
No.
No, it's literally like think of a lettuce, but like
Lettuce?
a long stemmed lettuce.
Okay.
It has kind of like a think of like a Napa, you know, a Napa cabbage.
Okay.
Yeah, think of a Napa
This
cabbage.
man doesn't eat vegetables, dude.
I eat vegetables.
This man only knows onions and carrots.
Onions and
That's
carrots.
the American way.
okay.
And potatoes.
Hey man, you forgot broccoli and Brussels sprouts and green beans and peas.
Oh, very American. Keep going.
Exactly.
Oh, but
hey,
speaking of food, man, I had some like the coolest restaurants that
yeah,
I was very lucky to go to.
Going to you missed out on the street foods,
It's
but
not street food,
what were some of the restaurants you
So
went
we're gonna work backwards since we're at the tail end. So on Saturday we went to a Michelin star Taiwanese restaurant, and they serve traditional Taiwanese food. And I'll say I think that place had my favorite dish. They had like a sweet and sour like fish, like a steamed fish, and it has sweet and sour sauce on it. I think it's like a sea bass, but it was like delicious. The sauce was perfectly balanced. And then they had the other traditional like Chinese dish of like we had the beef noodle soup that was really nice and delicate and tasteful.
Yeah. Was it savory? Did it have that umami?
This one was light, so it didn't have that strong of umami,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was really
So
delicious.
lighter taste.
Yeah, it was really light. It was good. The beef was like nice and like hearty. And then Thursday we went to a teppanyaki place. This is interesting. This place is like it's like
Hey, Alex doesn't know what teppanyaki is.
it's like hibachi, but like less they don't really do. They just cook on like that like.
等一下的火焰会再大一点哦。
And I should get even bigger.
Thursday we went to all you can eat hot pot place. It's always good.
Ooh, I bet you
They also
love
had
that.
all you can eat ice cream too. They just had all
At
you
the
can
hot pot place?
Yeah, they had all you can eat hot ice cream. It's just all Haagen-Dazs.
Ice cream after
And it was all Haagen-Dazs?
Yeah, all
Dang,
Haagen-Dazs.
They fancy, bro. They
That's-
I feel
that's
like
Kelsey's
Asians really
favorite.
love Haagen-Dazs. Like even Japan, like they really love
Haagen-Dazs,
that
yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. Europe, Haagen-Dazs.
I think it has a European name.
Haagen-Dazs, yeah, that's definitely European
But-
for sure. Already, Haagen-Dazs was founded in 1960 by Polish immigrants in Bronx, New York.
There you go. It's
There you
so
go.
it's like
Polish
half.
in America.
It's like half and half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's definitely a good blend, I'd say.
good quality. Good
Yep.
quality ice cream.
So,
But that's kind of interesting, like hot pot and then ice cream
yeah,
though.
all you can eat hot pot, all you can eat ice cream.
Huh.
Oh,
didn't know that was
and here's the
normal.
best part: all you can
Nice.
drink beer and all you can drink wine.
Okay, you got me
I'd be
sold.
there, bro. I'd
Let's
be
go.
there.
And
They'd have to
the-
tell us to leave.
Let's go.
The beer is Heineken, and so they had two beers. They had Heineken and they had Taiwan's like beer that they
Taiwanese beer.
Yeah, Taiwanese beer, which tastes
Pretty
like kind of
good.
like a lager.
Get your bags ready. Pack it up. We're going to Taiwan.
Heck yeah. All you can drink.
All you can drink.
All you can drink. All you can eat.
drink.
All you can have ice cream. Come on now.
Let's see. Moving. So that was Thursday. Wednesday we had Thai food at this really nice Thai restaurant, Tai Chung. And they had a crab curry that used like a soft shell crab, and that
Crap.
was phenomenally delicious.
Did you have a papaya salad?
I did not have a papaya salad.
No.
Oh my God, you just gave me flashbacks to Colombia with that comment.
For
Papaya
papaya salad
salad
or
sounds good.
soft shell?
No, papaya in general.
Oh.
Every morning we have a guy who's he's got his little cart and he goes walking around going papaya, papaya, papaya.
Papaya man instead of the
Yeah.
cabbage man.
Yeah, like I have his whole phrase ingrained in my brain, dude. And then the other one is tenemos los buenos, bonitos y baratos, which means we have them
Yeah,
like
caption
pretty, fresh, and cheap.
Dang. You should have tipped over his papaya stand and he would have been like, my papayas.
My papayas.
My cabbages.
Okay, so that was Wednesday. Tuesday was the most interesting restaurant I went to. So
Oh,
on
okay.
top of Taipei 101, there's a restaurant called Ajoy, and it is an
Ajoy.
all you can eat buffet style restaurant. But
Dang,
the
you doing a lot
food,
of all you can eat.
Michelle's dad enjoys because he doesn't eat lunch. He eats like a breakfast. And he doesn't eat lunch.
Oh,
He eats
he's
like
my
a
type of
big-
man.
Yeah, he's exactly you him on the same strand of eating habits.
Mm.
So he likes all you eat, and it's a really nice restaurant. It's like takes like 2 months to get reservations for.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
super popular because it's the top of Taipei 101. It looks out over the entire city,
That's
and it's like
pretty
it's like a glass wall, so you
Oh,
actually
nice.
look out as you eat.
Does it rotate too?
No, it's not
Like
rotate.
the Dallas Tower.
I would not enjoy if it rotated. I would get sick.
What was so good about it?
It's imagine like fine dining, but like smaller portions, super small portions. So they had all you can eat crab legs, obviously. They had all you can eat A5 Wagyu steak. They had
Dang.
the most beautifully crafted like desserts of like small chocolate mochis. They had some chocolate truffles. They had small cakes. They had because in Taiwan they had like dim sum. They also had like fried stuff. But it's essentially it's just endless food, and it's super popular and looks really, really nice. We had beautiful like seats.
Nice. That sounds like the Sterling brunch in Las Vegas. They don't have
Yeah.
it anymore, but like it's like very nice, expensive food.
This one had
But
the same
yep,
vibe of like
all
you
you can eat.
would check in and then you wait in line to get up to the tallest parts of Taipei. But it's like I think it's like 1,800 Taiwanese dollars per person.
Damn.
So like divide by 31, figure how much that is.
Yeah. Jeez, man. That's some good eating though.
Yeah,
So that
sounds
was-
like you had a
and then-
really good trip.
Yeah, it was great. It was.
So
really
what was the best meal that you had?
The
out
best
of all
meal
the
I
ones?
had.
Yeah, what's that one meal that you're like,
Ooh.
if you could go back and you like, let's say you went to Taiwan next week, you're like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going back to this place.
I would probably have to go back to the Michelin star Taiwan restaurant.
Mm.
I think because
the fish.
their menu is like a thick menu. They have so much stuff, but there's so much things I wanted. Like I also wanted to try out.
I see.
It was really, really good.
We'll have to go back.
We do.
Catch us next
We
time.
gotta do adventure.
That'd
It'll
be a
be the
fun trip.
dude's adventure.
So like those are the fun parts, but like I also have some like travel woes for like to and from Taiwan that I want to.
Snap. Yeah,
Oh,
both
no.
ways.
Yeah, It
Oh,
was
man.
a rough
What
one.
Not
you
the
got?
woes.
The woes,
Yeah,
man.
we can go into the woes.
So my so I'll do the beginning trip and end trip. The first travel woe, I flew through to Taiwan through Ava Air, EVA Air. It's like a Taiwanese airline, but they also contract out to U.S. airlines to do part of their trip. From Austin to San Francisco, we would have gone through Alaskan Airlines, and it's super early. I think it was like a 8 a.m. flight, and we would get to San Francisco around like, I think maybe 8. No, I don't remember. I think it's a 6 a.m. flight. We get to Taiwan around like San Francisco around 8. Our flight from San Francisco to Taipei was at like 10 something, I think, or no, was that 1? I don't remember what it was, but we had like an hour and a half layover, plenty of time to get situated.
Right.
Yeah.
At 4 in the morning, the Alaska airline texted my wife, who is the holder of our tickets, "Hey, your flight has been delayed from Austin to San Francisco. Instead of arriving with an hour and a half to spare, you'll arrive with 15 minutes to get your next flight."
Heck,
Oh.
possible.
So y'all hauled it.
No, we went to Alaska Airlines. We said, "Hey, you need to change our flight. We cannot make it in time. There is no fundamental possible way." So we asked the airline to change our flight, and they did. They booked us at instead of going from Austin to San Francisco, we went to Austin to LA, LA to Taipei. But they forgot to. So for our San Francisco to Taipei, we were doing a premium economy because we were in there for like 11 hours. We wanted like space to like lounge around,
Right.
and we were like, "Hey,
Stretch your legs.
stretch your legs.
Yeah,
We can stretch a
fair.
little bit on the trip. It's perfectly fine."
Yeah.
And we get 2 check-in bags per person, so 4 check-in bags, which is great.
Mhm.
When they booked us to the new flight from LA to Taipei, they forgot to give us our premium economy seats,
Oh,
and
so
we
you
didn't we didn't find that out until we got to LA, and we were trying to get to our new flight. And because EVA's a Taiwanese airline, their office hours are also Taiwanese time, and
So
so
they're not open.
they're not open for us to call and ask them, "Hey, can you help us change our flight?" So we end up getting a just an economy seat, but the only seat they had was the one that's like right by the emergency exit, so it didn't have like space for me to put my bag and for my carry on, my personal bag.
You have to put it over bin or overhead.
Yeah, so that was the first half. And then on the flight back, so this is like on the following
Back too.
Sunday, we get to the airport. Everything's fine. We check in. Everything's good. Our flight, for some reason, and I really don't speak Mandarin. So I don't know what they're saying over the intercom. But they were over an hour behind schedule.
Oh,
Like
dang.
not leaving, like arriving an hour behind schedule.
Like in the air?
Yeah.
Like
so
you guys were already in
so
the air. And...
we apparently, I guess we taxied for everyone boarded the plane. They took us to the runway. I guess we had taxied for such a long time they had to like wait a
Okay.
little bit for whatever reason. But the overall trip, we landed in San Francisco an hour and like 15 minutes later than we were supposed to.
Ooh.
So
And y'all had a layover there too?
you had layover there, and then our flight was going to be from 8. I think it's like we would arrive in San Francisco at like 6:30. Our next flight was at 8:30 back to Austin. We get to Austin around like 2:15, which is really good for me.
And this is like the morning.
Yeah, this is
So
all
y'all
in the morning.
Y'all took a red eye to come back to America pretty much.
Not flying from Asia back to US is actually, we left at like 10 in the morning Asia, and we would get back at 6 a.m. just because of time difference.
Okay.
Is it 6 a.m. Sunday or Monday?
Sunday. So
Monday, okay.
yeah,
So
flying
you had a whole Sunday and a whole Monday
Yeah.
to rest and recover.
flying from America to Asia, you get messed up. Like you lose a day basically, but flying from
Yeah.
Asia to America, you don't really lose a day at all if you pick your
Yeah,
flights
you're-
correctly.
Time traveling.
Yeah, I felt like
Yeah.
that. So our EVA Air lands. It lands at the airport at 7:45, and I need to board at 8 o'clock, and boarding ends at
No
8:20.
way.
And Alex, if you've ever flown out of international San Francisco, what they want you to do is
No.
they want you to check. So when you fly in from overseas to San Francisco, you have to get all of your check-in bags. and then you have to go back through airport security and load them into to get to your new flight.
Go through TSA
You have
again.
to load them.
Yeah, so you have to get your bags off of the plane, check through the normal checkout. They have another conveyor belt where you just put your new bags onto it. You would go, and then you would go back through airport security.
Yeah, it's not like
That
American
sounds
or
dumb.
it's
Yeah.
not like DFW where you can just connecting flights,
Yep.
it just automatically goes through.
You have to pull your bags off. And
San
so
Francisco, you need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, them customs, dude.
yeah,
Walken also
it's-
went through the same thing.
And so we didn't get, for one reason or another, we didn't get our bags until 8:05 in the morning. And we had the boarding open at 8, closes at 8:20. So we have 15 minutes theoretically to get our connecting flight back to Austin. And so Michelle and I, we are booking it. We got our bags. We are running as fast as we possibly can.
It's so stressful, dude.
To it. And then the person, when we get to the check-in where we put our flights for the connecting, for our bags for the connecting flight, the person scans our little ticket. She says, "You're not gonna make it." She's like, "No, I'm just tell you now, you're not gonna make it. You need to book a new flight." And so we had to go book a new flight. Luckily, there was a nonstop flight from San Francisco to Austin that got us back to Austin around like 5 p.m. So it wasn't too bad if they were behind. But we were just like so tired because at that point we were in the airport for like 17 hours.
I feel you, dude.
It sounds very exhausting.
Yeah. Dude,
But you know what? You made it home safe.
I did. Yeah, made it home safe.
Your wife made it safe, and you get to tell these fun stories with us. So
Yeah,
we're very thankful that everything worked out for y'all.
Same here. Every bad, these small bad things always end up being very fun stories to tell.
I feel that. I've had some travel woes before too.
Oh yeah.
Have you, Alex?
Have I had a travel woe, dude?
Yeah.
The worst one I've ever had was I had a 14-hour layover.
Oh yikes!
Oh, where'd you sleep?
So
Airport?
do y'all remember when we were in college when I went to go to Spain to study abroad?
I do.
So on my flight home, the one of the reasons why I was able to get a cheaper flight, because we're in college, I had to fund the trip myself and stuff, so it wasn't exactly very budget friendly. But I made do with what I had, and I remember I was like, oh, this flight's pretty cheap, but the return looks terrible. It's a 14-hour layover, but it saves me like $500.
So you willingly did it.
I had to willingly do it. I mean,
Was it worth it?
It's still a woe, dude.
Was it worth it?
In hindsight, yeah, but I wouldn't do that nowadays. I mean, I would just eat the $500.
14 hours. That's a long ass.
14. Yeah. What did you do where did you go?
I went to McDonald's. I went to different areas where I could just rest. I slept on top of my bags to make sure I don't have to worry about nobody trying to mess with them. Yeah, it was in Madrid, the layover. So I was still in Spain. Yeah, I didn't go too far.
Dang, man, I would have just left the airport and been like, all right.
Yeah, well, I guess you might as well keep exploring.
Well, I didn't want to have to go. I didn't want to have to go through just going back through the airport.
And 14 hours, dog.
I know, but remember, I didn't have
that's a whole work day.
Plus, let me also put into perspective. My budget was shot by that point. I had spent everything that I had for the trip, pretty much at that point.
So you knew you had a 14-hour layover.
Yeah, but I also decided to do things that I wasn't gonna originally do, and so that kind of just it was like
that's where his $500 went to.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, one time I have two travel woes, two crazy stories. One where I thought I was gonna die, or do you want to hear the one where my manager was like asking me to do the craziest thing?
Let's hear the manager, and then let's hear the one where you almost died.
Right. The one I almost died would be quick, but the manager one. So I was going up to Canada on business trips for my work, and I went to the middle of nowhere in Canada. It's like an island, northeast, super northeast, above New York. It's a little island that's super small. Yeah. And I remember like I was supposed to go home that day, and then it was like snowing, and so I get a message saying, "Hey, your flight is canceled." And I was like, "Okay, whatever, I don't care, like I'll stay here." And so I go to the front desk, and I'm like, "Hey, I need another night," and they're like, "Sure." And so I call up my manager, and I'm explaining to him, like, "Hey, it's snowing. There's no flight today. I'll come home tomorrow." He literally said, "Devante." He's asking for the impossible. He's like, "Devante, you need to find a flight to get out of there no matter what." And I said, "Okay." So I literally start looking, right? And I'm like, "There's only one goddamn flight out of this bitch," like, and that was the one that got canceled. And so I'm like scrambling. I'm like, this man told me I need to get home, and then I called him up again. He didn't answer. I called up my other manager. He didn't answer. So I called the highest person I can get to, the CEO. I was like,
Oh
"Hey,"
my gosh.
I was like, "These guys are asking me for the impossible," and he was like, "Devante, don't worry about it. Just come home tomorrow." I was like, I get two different answers within the span of 2 hours. Like one's like extreme, and the other one's the other extreme.
But it
And
was his boss, right? Like he was
yeah,
above
yeah,
him.
he's the highest one, yeah. And I was just like, how are you gonna tell me to come home when there's only one flight and that flight got canceled? Like that's crazy that you that you expect me to like. And then he was expecting me to drive to like a different airport.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I was
so
gonna say
and
like
I'm
he
like, there's only one
probably
airport.
wanted you to go somewhere else.
And I'm like, it's snowing. Why would I drive to a different airport that I don't even know exists? Like, there's only one airport on this island. I'm like,
Gosh.
what are you asking me to do? And then the next day, he's like, I told you to come home. I'm like, what do you mean?
Did he explain why he wanted you to come home like same
No,
day?
it's because he didn't want to have the customer pay extra. And
Oh,
I was like, I
It's
called the
one of
customer and
those.
they said, Devante, don't worry about it. Like,
he
it's
wants you
out
to
of your control.
swim. Wants you to swim to a new island and just fly off that
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna swim over to New York.
Is
Like
that
the
manager
American
still
dream.
one of your managers, if you don't mind me asking?
No, they're one's in Europe, another one moved to a different company. But
Good.
I was just like, I always tell that manager, I'm like, you remember that one time? Like he's like the one that's higher, but I was like, you remember that one time that you told me I need to find a different
Whatever you
flight?
do, come back today.
I'm like, that's impossible, bro. I'm talking to everybody, and they're like, why would he make you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. You ask them. But
That's
the
funny.
other one where I thought I almost died was or I thought I was gonna die, and I'll send you the picture, Anthony. But it was like a where I was going on another business trip to the middle of nowhere in Canada, and this plane is like a 12-seater, 12-seater with literally
No.
like Amazon packages in the back because it's the middle of nowhere, right? And so they're
Yeah.
like, you might as well take it with you. And so I'm sitting there like on the left side near the back, and you can see straight through like the front. Like there is no flight attendant. Like it's literally the pilot. He's like, all right, get ready, like buckle up because we're about to go, and you can see straight through the front. Like you can see the panel, the window panel. And so we're going, and it's like the dead of winter, and it's snowing, like pelting us. And like you could feel everything, like every movement on this plane. And I was like, God, if I die in this plane crash, this is the worst way to die. Like I was like, this
Yeah.
this is horrible. This is a horrible
Yeah.
way to die,
You have
God. Like I
choice
was like, dude.
words.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was like, God, I will see you, but then I'll go talk to everybody else and I'll see you again because I'm gonna hold this. And so we're going through, and like we can see the landing strip. Like we're literally like swerving to get onto the landing
Oh
strip.
my
Yeah,
god.
it was scary, dude. And there's like a little kid, and like she's like crying, and everybody's like trying to comfort her. And I'm like, God, there's even a little kid on the plane. Like we can't go out like this. And so like he finally like stabilizes the plane like right at the last second to be able to land on the landing strip, and we all are like,
You're just clutching everything. So
we're like, we're
tense.
alive.
Yeah.
And then the worst
Yeah.
part was like after we get off, there's only one terminal, and the size of that
Yeah.
terminal is like a small building, like super small building. And so now we're getting off the plane, and then like it's like snow is pelting you, like everything. Like I'm just like going through the emotions of life. I'm like, dang God, I almost just died, and now I'm in like this snowy place in the middle of nowhere.
I feel like the
like cold as
survival
hell.
instincts were kicking in.
Yeah, literally. I was like walking. I was like trying to text her, trying to get
I'm
reception and stuff.
safe.
But I literally thought I was gonna die on that business trip, and I was like,
Yeah.
never take me to the middle of nowhere ever again, Toyota. I was like, don't do it, please.
I will say I use flight attendants to gauge how worried I should be on a turbulence. So
When there is no flight attendant, you're just holding on for your life, dog.
I do have
That was
I,
my worst
yeah.
travel.
I have one more travel woe, and we'll kind of probably wrap it up after
Yeah.
this story. This is like maybe like 4 years back. I took an Uber from my apartment in North Austin to the Austin airport. It's like a 40-minute Uber ride. I was going to go to Disney World, so I was really excited. I was super happy. I was like, this is my vacation. I've worked so hard. First vacation I paid for entirely myself. We're gone for a week. It's great. Our flight was super early because we wanted to maximize our time in Orlando. So our flight was at I think 8 a.m. and so we left our apartment I think like 5:30. So 40 minutes. We get there at like 6 something. Perfect time to like get checked in security, eat a breakfast, rest, get on the plane, etc., etc. That Uber ride took an hour and 15 minutes. I
Wait,
was
why?
pissed.
For a 40-minute ride.
At 5:30 in the morning. The
Was it,
guy
like,
got
packed?
lost.
Yeah, what's how he got
How do you get lost on an Uber?
He
Did he not have GPS?
he did. He says, "I know a better way."
You never trust somebody that says I know a better way.
And the worst thing is like because I've driven to the airport from my apartment, I know the exact highway to take. It's like good, cool, no traffic, best time like 35 minutes. One
Yeah.
highway, boom, you're there. The man's like, "I know a better way. I'll take the local roads." I'm like, what the heck? And I was like,
Yeah.
I was pissed because he's trying to run up my tab on my trip. I was like upset. I'm generally a pretty chill person, but like you asked my wife, I was like, I was
Yeah.
mad. I was like clutching my face, like you more. I'm like watching him
Oh,
drive
he was
too.
there too?
I like watching him drive too. It's like he's deliberately taking like the wrong road. So like he's like, "Oh, I don't have the toll tag. I'm gonna get off the toll road." But he took the wrong exit. And he's like, "What are you doing? Just get me to the airport."
Yeah.
That is the first and only one time I gave an Uber driver a 1 star.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
was pissed.
he deserves it. I'd give him no stars if I
Yeah.
could.
I mean, it was the day. It was a good.
Did you
drive.
reach out to Uber support and complain?
About what? What's
What
he
are they
complaining
gonna do?
about?
Uber supports
I-
What do you mean? He took the longest way possible.
Yeah, and I rightfully gave him a 1 star and complained about it. I followed the system. I don't know. I guess
Well, you said he was running up the tab. I don't take.
I don't
Uber
know
too
if he,
often,
like,
but
I mean, I don't know if he deliberately ran on the tab, but I felt like that way because he was taking like the worst possible ways to get to the airport. And he was like,
Man.
and
Did
I
y'all
was like,
get there in time though?
yeah, we got there in time. It was fine. But
Okay.
I asked him like, "Oh, where are you from?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm from like, Killeen, Texas, which is like an hour, like and 20 minutes away from Austin." I was like, "What are you doing driving someone from the airport, like in like Cedar Park area? Dang, what the heck?"
Hey, he need to
Whatever,
get that
he could-
moolah.
yeah.
But obviously, he don't know
Yeah.
where he's going.
true that he definitely does not know a better way.
I'm surprised your wife didn't say something, dude. She would have popped off.
I think we were just kind of done. We were trying to get to the airport. We just want to start our vacation, man. We are on vacation brain.
I
Yeah.
see. Oh yeah, that's true. But
Plus, it was early in the morning.
Yeah, so like how I was like, how bad could it possibly be at 5:30 in the morning?
hey, man, it was what is that? Almost 40 minutes bad.
Yeah.
Double your
so
trip.
so
If you
now
piss off someone at 5 in the morning, like you've really gone and pissed them off.
So now I just whenever I fly out of Austin, I usually spend the night at my brother's condo who lives in like South Austin, like 10 minutes from the airport. There's no way someone can mess up a 10-minute drive to the airport. There's like 2 roads you take.
Yeah.
Hey, never say never. I'm sure
Never
that
say
guy could.
never, yeah.
Better be safe than sorry,
Well, I think that sums up our episode for this week. Thank you all for listening. It's good to be back and talk to my friends, and hopefully we'll have our own travel journey together, 3 of us, and we'll have our own. Hopefully, no travel
enough.
woes, but if it's a travel woe, it's a good story. So, it's all good.
I'll be video recording our NOLA trip. That will be
Yeah.
our traveling
our
together.
travel. Yeah,
I'm excited for that trip.
same here. It happens in 2 months, so it's exciting.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
For it.
But as
I got
usual,
something to tell y'all about American here when we come
we
back.
come back. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as usual, I want to give a shout out to JT for coming up with our designs for our backgrounds. Give a shout out to Leviction for our awesome intro and outro music. Give if you like what you're listening and you really like and want to support us, give us a like on Spotify. Get us a nice 5-star review. Get us into other people's news feeds. That'd be great. Give us like a comment on YouTube as well. We appreciate it. I think for the YouTube video, we'll have like the pictures of some of the stuff that I ate. So be looking forward to seeing some really cool feed photos. And then I'll add it to the website that has our episode. So if you want, just look at the photos, look at me adventuring with my wife. It'll be there as well.
Yeah, we should create a adventures tab or something.
Sure.
You know,
Do that.
get
That'd
to
be
know us,
fun.
like a little bit deeper dive of getting to know us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Did you
the
guys have
sound of that.
any? Did you guys have any shout outs?
Yeah, I just want to once again thank everybody for coming. We always love talking with you guys, getting the chance to share these stories with y'all. You guys are the ones that we do this for, and just thank you for supporting us as always.
Thank you for listening to Dude You Never Told Me.
Peace, everybody.